only child once said, "A woman is the full circle. Within her is the power to create, nurture, and transform." Women are storytellers, leaders, and change makers, shaping the world in ways both big and small. Her story is a space where we celebrate this journey, their struggles, and triumphs. Today we bring you the inspiring story of a woman who has carved her own path in a challenging profession, defying expectations and embracing adventure. We're coming to you from Home Basic Interiors. Our location partner, Home Basic Interiors, is a trendy store offering the latest furniture and stylish interior decor, perfect for transforming any space into a modern and elegant haven. Meet Dorji, one of Bhutan's few female tour guides leading travelers through the breathtaking landscapes of the country. In a field traditionally dominated by men, she has carved her own path with resilience and passion. With a deep love for her country's culture and nature, she brings history to life through her stories. Whether it's hiking up to Tiger's Nest or sharing folk tales over a warm cup of suja, Dorji ensures every journey is unforgettable. And today, she's here to share with us her story. Now, let's go back to when you were a little girl. Tupka, how were you as a little child? Describe Dorji as a little girl.
I was more like a boyish character. My group of friends were all boys. I would go swimming with them in my junior high school when I was in my 8th grade. And my English teacher told me that, "Dorji, you shouldn't go. Even when you go with them to swim, you should at least wear something." Because I was so...
You went topless like the guys.
Yes. She says, wear something on the top, you know. Yeah. So, and then very adventurous. You know, if they asked me to jump, I would jump. If they
A
told me to
daredevil.
swim, yeah, daredevil. And I was a very sporty person. I was a good sprinter also. I used to do sprint. I used to represent my school also in college days. Yeah, and I was a martial artist also. I play taekwondo, and in the university I play karate also. So
Oh my God.
yeah, I was always into field. So my mom saw that one in me. Yeah, and
Wow.
so many adventure there.
Oh,
with
that's so
my
exciting,
Village
though.
friends, school friends.
So you were adventurous and you were a daredevil. What is one memory from your childhood that holds significance in your life?
I was in my 7th grade and barely 14 years old. So I made a group of friends. Most of them are my girlfriends. So we planned to go to see a monastery and also a sky burial because the villagers told that it's very sacred, and then we should
sky burial.
Yeah, and then we should go and see that one. You know, they say basically they want to talk about impermanence from a very young age. They want to teach this to us. So then I got very excited, and I'm an adventurous person. I told, let's go. So then my mom, I still remember my late mom. She was in our field. She was encouraging us and bidding us, you know, farewell. And then we just lost our sight after quite distance, and then we had to stay for a night in our friend's place on the way because it's a 2-day trek. So we went over there, and that evening, late evening, we reached over there, and then in charge, I know him very well, and he was very welcoming, and we stayed over there for a night. We saw the sky burial as well as the monastery shrine. And the next day, when we were returning back, descending down to village, we were accompanied by one of our uncle who was a monk over there. He was in his retreat, just a simple basic retreat. So he accompanied us halfway. And we were all, you know, descending down, like walking so fast. And he told us that, guys, don't walk like a horse, look back. And when I looked back, turned my back, I saw the second highest mountain of Bhutan. You know, so majestic. And then, yeah.
So that whole experience is dear to your heart.
And then there hasn't been a year, you know, I haven't passed a year without seeing one mountain, you know. So there was no looking back.
That was when you were in class 7?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay. I have asked you 2 questions, and what I realized about you this early in the interview is you are a storyteller. You paint pictures with your words, and that's great as a tour guide. But you're not only a tour guide, you also had a dream before that of having a yogurt firm, right? Yes. So tell me about it. How did that start? and maybe end?
So after finishing my studies, I was unemployed for 2 straight years. And then I told my mom that I wanted to start a milk processing plant where I make a yogurt. So I have a very entrepreneurial mindset. So she told me that, okay, so she gave me a piece of land. I made my yogurt plant there. And it wasn't an easy, task. I had my ups and downs there. But I did, start my yogurt plant, and my plant didn't boom overnight or even in a year. My profit margin was slim, but I would save that one, and then I would travel, especially hiking, trekking. And then my mother knew, what my passion was into. So she told me, Dorji, why don't you, join tourism industry, be a guide. So you do what you love and you make a living out of there. So she was very encouraging. Wow. So then I jumped into tourism industry.
Oh, wow. So it wasn't you who realized that, okay, my passion is not yogurt making or being an entrepreneur as a yogurt dealer, but it's actually in tourism.
Yeah.
And she was the one who realized that.
Yeah.
Wow. And encouraged you in that direction.
I think she saw that in me, but I haven't realized that, So she pointed out.
I see. So then you realized, okay, how young were you when you realized, okay, I need to make the switch to being a tour?
In my late 20s or mid 20s. Mid 20s.
Okay. Did you ever worry that maybe because I'm a girl, maybe this is not the right field? Or what was your thought process like?
Initially, I haven't realized about that one also, because I was always in a group of, boys or men, or at home also I had my brother. Yeah. It never occurred to me, it will be a challenging thing in the industry. But when I came into the industry, initially it was really challenging for me.
Let's talk about the challenges as a tour guide. So did you take tour guide lessons first and then?
I had to take intensive 6 to 7 months of course. It was very intense. We had to do so much of studies with theories, with history, information, and then you have to go on a field trip. I wanted to become a trekking guide, because I was so much into being adventurous. So, but then they told me I have to go through cultural guide first, and I have to stay there for 2 to 3 years. Only after that I can go for the trekking guide.
What is the difference between a cultural guide and a trekking guide?
Trekking guides are both skilled, I would say, in cultural and then trekking. We are in the trekking. We are trained up in the mountain,
Also like hiking, excursions up in the mountains, right? Then a cultural guide is where
we guide through the cultural sightseeings and through homestays, in the valley. But trekking, we have to go up in the mountain, intensive, and the passes are 5,000 meters, So they taught us how to pitch our own tent, if there's any emergencies, how we have to react, First aid classes were taught.
Was it all exciting?
Yeah, it was.
Given your personality, the kind of person you are who goes around looking for adventure, and to finally find a profession that pays you to do that, that must have been like a kid in a candy store. Manga.
Yeah, it was what I was looking for my whole life, and it was just right in front of me. So I was very excited, and in and all, I'm very passionate, I've read somewhere that there isn't fire like passion. So I really feel that one because of what I'm doing right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So then tell me, okay, so you did the trainings. Let's talk about your first experience as a tour guide. How was that?
First, I went as a cultural, and then all I remember was in Pobjika,
Okay.
Yeah, I've been there before, but with guests, it was another excitement.
Yeah.
The valley, and I was very proud of myself, them behind me, and it was the proudest moment. So today also when I go there, Pobjika, because we have 4 seasons in Bhutan, Pobjika gives us different vibe, even though the place stays the same. So yeah, that is always in my mind,
What are some challenges you've found out after getting into this profession?
So there was this guy, he was a driver, so I really had tough time with him. He used to say so many belittling things, slangs especially, to drain me down. And then after some time he would go around, tell another story, flatter people to cover his behavior. So that was, I felt very unsupported, and then I never knew this was there. But having said that, there are other 99 men who are, who give us space, who are very respectful. I'd like to thank them also.
There's always those few that ruin it for everybody. More.
Yeah.
So other than having colleagues, let's say, more colleagues remete because he's the driver, you're the guide, you have to work together. So other than having few colleagues that weren't as respectful to a female tour guide, were there any other logistical challenges?
Oh yeah. Especially accommodation. Even though I'm from west of Bhutan, I have to say this. It's a shame that they, welcoming, the warm welcome, and then the hospitality which we get in central Bhutan and east of Bhutan is never anywhere in Bhutan, whole of Bhutan. The people over there, especially the owners and the proprietors of 3-star hotel, are very welcoming.
Oh, in the central and the east?
East of Bhutan,
okay, all right.
The way they respect us, they welcome us is on another level.
Is it because you're a girl, or is it just
This is for everyone. Every guide in general, be it male or female, they treat us so well. It's just not, the rooms and accommodation are just not given us for namesake. We have all the facilities over there. It's so tidy, neat and clean.
I see. So this is not just to do with your gender, it is how people perceive guides in general. In the east and the central, guides are looked up to. They're thankful that you brought them business. Here, not so much.
Not so much.
How does that make you feel?
I feel like we are all Bhutanese, right? We have to treat our people, well, and then look after one another. But that is felt only in central and east of Bhutan. Yeah.
We're still talking about the challenges, right? You mentioned how there are some logistical challenges. What about, you said accommodations? Did you have to room with other tour guides or who are men, or are people more accommodating to put you into your own separate room?
I had some evening when they told that, we have one room and there are several other men over there, so you can share with them. So I was not comfortable at all sharing a room with, forget about several, not even with one. I'm not comfortable at all. So yeah.
How did you deal with that?
So then I had to request my driver and then drive me back to town and then find a place over there. Sometimes when in the peak season, we don't get, places to sleep in the town area also. So then we have to adjust ourselves. By hook or crook. Otherwise then.
Sometimes when you feel like you love the profession, but it seems like the profession isn't ready for you. What do you do then?
Over a time, we just figure it out, When we go places, before reaching that place, we make sure that we have a place to stay. Or we call our cousins, here, there, ask friends, you have a place to stay over, I will come and accommodate, Once me and my friend, we had to take a tent, a picture tent right above our hotel, and then we spent the night over there. But it was very comfortable because we wanted to go out there and work, right? So,
see, this is what it means when generally, society doesn't like it when we say women have it harder. Like, she's a tour guide, there's a male tour guide. The world is ready for him, to welcome him as a tour guide. He has his toilet that he shares with other men. He has a room that he shares with other women, other men. But for women, it becomes really difficult. You have to be extra invested in something, and not just as a tour guide. Most professions, historically, professions are tailored to fit men. At least I feel like that. And you are a perfect example of how a woman has to try double hard. She has to try a lot more than her male colleagues. So what keeps you on the job? Because if it were someone who didn't enjoy the job, she would have quit. Okay, I brought my tourists all the way to Phobjikha. There's no room for me. This career is not for me. What keeps you on the job? What keeps you year after year embracing this journey as a tour guide?
Motivation, I would say.
And what motivates you?
I get inspired by His Majesty the King. He says that, even though It doesn't matter what work you do, whether it's relevant or whether it's a small task or not so important. But when you are given a responsibility, give your 100%. So I keep that in my mind. So, yeah, I always keep that in mind and then give my 100%, even though guiding profession is not an easy task. We have to be there both mentally and physically in the field, you know. Even with the challenges, you know, when I have this, the reasons which I pointed out, it sound very petty reasons. But when you are in the field, you know, it really drains you out.
I don't think it's petty at all. I think because you have to go to sleep safe, feeling safe and well rested, right? You have to get up and put the biggest smile on your face in front of your guests next day. If you don't sleep well, if you don't feel safe, how are you going to do this? Petty challenges at all.
In one of the hotel in Punakha, they let me sleep in the conference hall. I was very happy that there are so many chairs and tables and the hall was empty. I made a small space just next to the huge table, and then made my little safe haven there. Wow. With my sleeping bag, you know, all so prepared.
Dorji, it speaks of your perseverance, your resilience, and your motivation not to give up. That is, your profession is a living example of that.
But I was very happy that time, you know. At least they give my space, even though conference hall is huge.
They give you a lot of space.
Yeah, a huge space. I was very happy, you know. At least at the end of the day, I can have a, you know, good night's sleep or maybe a well-rested evening.
Privacy.
Yeah, privacy is there, you know. My washroom is there.
True. Dorji, tell me, what was one experience that you enjoyed with, one memory that you hold close, that you exchanged with a tourist?
Like, it's a memorable and a pleasure to take my guest to Tiger's Nest. I always say it's not Tiger's Nest, it's Tigress Nest, because it's she who took, you know, Gurumbuchi over there. So I always correct that one.
Good. There's a feminist in you there. Yeah. I'm not going to let the male tiger take the credit for it. Yeah.
So then I take them there. You know, it's a greatest pleasure, I would say, because I'm taking them to Guru Rinpoche's Shinkham. And one time there was a press group, and my journalist friend, she got very emotional because she told me, Dorji, you know what? I saw this tigress nest pierced right on the face of the rock when I was just 5 years old girl. Her class teacher showed the picture to her, and ever since she wanted to come to Bhutan. Wow. And then when she came over here, she was almost 30 years old. Wow. So she says, happening after 25 years old, and thank you. And I saw her, you know, emotions, and then, you know, tigress nest right in front of us, so stunning, magnificent. And also she make us very insignificant, you know, the whole universe is right in front of us, and who are we to hassle so much in life? Yeah. And every time I go there, I don't take her for granted. I just pray to her that I'll come here next time, I'll come here next time.
How many times have you visited Taksang now? Because for those of you who don't know Dorji's Parop, so I'm guessing even before she became a tour guide, she has gone to Taksang many times.
I'm from that village, so ever since the first time I went there, in fact, I've written an article on tigress nest in my backyard, and then the Globe and the Mail in Canada, they published it also. So so because I lost the count. I was born and brought up over there. It's been so many times. I was 6 years old when I first went hiking up there. The trails were not properly done back then also. Yeah, so my mom would be like, oh, Dorji, our relatives is coming, our neighbors is going there, just go help them, you know, with the horses.
So you were guiding since you were 6 years old. Wow.
So yeah, I've been there so many times, and I don't take it for granted. I say that every time I go over there.
Dorji, who's been your biggest support?
My family, my sister, my brother, and most important is my husband. He's my constant support. There were times when I used to call him at night that I'm done, I don't belong here in this industry, you know. And he would, you know, say that, Bidha, you are given a platform. Go over there and give your best. Take care of your guests. They're your first priority. You're a trip leader. So he said, this is how I push through.
You have a strong support.
Yeah.
Dorji, if you weren't a tour guide, which I think you were born to be, by the way. Like, I'm sitting here listening to you and I feel motivated. I feel so excited to be you because you found your passion. And I'm very happy for you. But if you didn't choose to become a tour guide, what do you think you'd be?
I would say I would be two things at a time. I would be a housewife who writes.
Oh, you'll enjoy writing.
Yeah.
Okay, good. All right. So you'll be a homemaker and a writer.
Yeah, homemaker and a writer.
Wow. What do you want to write about?
The homemakers.
Oh, okay, the life.
The world's greatest productive workforce, yet undermined.
So true. So true.
Biggest contributor of love and care, yet, nobody recognized that.
And no credit given. Nobody's paying them. There's no gratitude. It's the most thankless job.
Yeah.
You should still write about it. Because you have so many examples. We have so many exemplary women living this life out there. No one thanks them. They take their contribution to the family for granted, but they're more.
Yeah,
so, yeah, you're right.
I saw my mom, I saw my sister, my friends, so many homemaker over there.
Okay, what is one change you would like to see in the tourism industry to make the lives for women better, let's say?
I would request and also wish and hope in future there is 50% of travel company being led by women trip leader. They do say that some companies, they do say that they have 80% of workforce being women, but they are relegated to low paying jobs, There are only few of us actively being a trip leader out there in the field. Yeah, leading a team out there in the field. So I feel like only women can understand women. Yeah, the last year I led a trip and it was to do with hiking, trekking, and the company was owned by a lady, and she told me that, Dorji, I know you're very patriotic, but I want to make sure that you are in your trekking gears. Safety is your priority. So she don't want me to look like, one of the characters from The Wrong Turn, with all my Kira hanging here, there, with the bag, because in the trekking, while we trek, we have to have everything in our trekking bag, Every, first aid things should be in the bag. So it is going to be very heavy and challenging also. And also she gave me extra amount. Prior to the trip, they gave us amount which we have to spend it during the trip. So she gave me extra. So I asked her, I have extra this time. She mentioned that I know it's for you and guide to get a separate room so that at the end of the day, both of you get your deserved and get a good rest at the end of the day. So she was very much concerned into my well-being. I've never got this kind of consideration before.
Dorji, we have now come to the end, but I have one more question. In your own words, complete the following sentence. Dorji Bidha is?
Dorji Bidha is a trip leader in a travel company called ABC Travels, and she's an avid reader. I always make sure that I read at least 20 pages a day. Then that keeps me, that feeds my Dorji expedition.
What an inspiring conversation with Dorji. Her passion, resilience, and adventurous spirit reminds us that women can thrive in any field, even those traditionally dominated by men. As we wrap up here, we hope her story encourages more women to step out of their comfort zones, embrace challenges, and explore a world with confidence. Remember, your story is a part of the greater narrative of change and progress. Until next time, keep writing your own Her Story. Bye-bye.
I have the great honor of announcing the appointment of Her Majesty as the Goodwill Ambassador of the United Nations Population Fund in Bhutan.
I'm deeply honored by the request of the United Nations Population Fund to serve as a Goodwill Ambassador. I'm happy to accept this honor as a tribute to His Majesty the King and the Royal Government of Bhutan for their deep commitment to improving family health, implementing sound population policies and activities, and ensuring sustainable socio-economic development.
Her Majesty Gyalum Ajisangi Chodin Wangchuk consented to be the UNFPA's Goodwill Ambassador in January 1999. Her Majesty, as the UNFPA Goodwill Ambassador, has provided a platform for discussion and interaction for people of all walks of life. She has visited the most remote parts of the country and has positively impacted the life of everyone she has met. Driven by Her Majesty's personal commitment to improve the lives of girls and women in Bhutan, Her Majesty has traveled and trekked across all 20 districts of the country. Apart from sexual reproductive health and rights issues, Her Majesty has worked continuously to create awareness on prevention of gender-based violence and violence against women, girls, and children. In 2001, Her Majesty instituted the multi-sectoral task force in all 20 districts of the country to strengthen the fight against spread of STIs and associated sexual reproductive health issues. Similarly, monks and nuns studying in various monastic institutions have also accepted life skills education as a crucial source of information on health and well-being. Her Majesty's persistent advocacy against domestic and gender-based violence led to the enactment of the Domestic Violence Prevention Act 2013. Realizing the need to support and empower the disadvantaged and marginalized women in the country, Her Majesty founded a non-government organization with the mission to empower vulnerable women, especially the victims and survivors of domestic violence.